And joining me now from Lansing, Michigan is Gaelle Cassin-Ross, and from Greenville, South Carolina, Katie Deiters, Symonette. Welcome, ladies, to our show today. Gaelle, you say diversity is something you and your husband never even thought about. How do you think white moms can be more supportive to women of color when it comes to race and children when you say your own husband says he wasn't aware of it?
I believe that when we grow up and we are Black, we are always reminded that something is different for us, and that the color of our skin is probably the first things people see. When you live in a world that the rules were set for white people, they don't need to think about that because the rules were set for them. So I think it's super important for moms to actually expose their kids to diversity so it normalizes it and it helps uh, it helps the kids to grow up and looking at diversity like something beautiful instead of something weird or something they should be scared of.
And Katie, for you, obviously, we can go down the road of the talk, which is important, but it's more than that. What kind of support do you feel, and what kind of allegiance do you feel you're getting from the moms around you?
Well, I have a very close community of friends that have really supported us from the very beginning of the journey through adoption. And we have relied very heavily on them. And in my exact circle, there's no doubt in my mind that my children, that Jack and Sam, are supported and loved. But as they have gotten older and they are wanting independence and they are going out beyond, our close immediate circle, that is where the anxiety really kicks in because we are not there to protect them, in our cocoon of close friends.
And Gaelle, with, I guess, again, even with your social circle coming from this relationship, this with your husband of mixed race, do you feel that when you're in your Facebook groups or whatever social gatherings you have, that you're able to openly talk about it and say, listen, we even had a hard conversation in our home. My husband is white and he doesn't get it. Do you feel safe in these spaces to talk and just keep it real?
I surrounded myself with people who get it. I made a conscious choice. I pick a city where diversity is around. I pick everything in my environment empower diversity. And so therefore in my circle, it's extremely safe for me to have those tough conversations and to try to explain to my friend the background and the different layers that explain why we think that way and why change is necessary.
Katie, what do you think is the takeaway for people who are watching, especially your two unique stories? What do you want people to get as your journey as a white mom with children of color that has resonated even with your neighbors that they've learned from your journey?
I think my takeaway would be, especially in the light of the injustices that have been occurring in our country in the past few years, the takeaway is sympathy is not enough. It has to be a true empathy. People have got to put a real face on what is going on in our country. There shouldn't be a different set of rules for my children to go outside and play as there are for the white children who go outside and play. There truly are inequalities, and I have been trying desperately, especially in the past few years, to put a true face on that. And I think people that have developed close relationships with my kids, that's a step. But not all white people have close relationships with people of color, and I think that would be a great first step.